On today's episode of Adapt and Respond, does Joey McGuire still want Texas even though he ain't got no Brendan Sorsby? Is Houston really going to be as good as I think they can be in? What did Eric Morris say, if anything, to inspire, hope in an Oklahoma State fan other than, hey, I brought all of UNT with me to Stillwater? All that's coming up after the bumper. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, consider joining the more than 210,000 subscribers to Adapt and Respond, a college football podcast. You can also catch us on Apple and Spotify if you so choose, but we're always going to be YouTube first. We're always going to do YouTube exclusives, and we're going to follow the news of the day. Start with that, right? So I want to get into some takes that I got about some players and some coaches that showed up at Big 12 Media Day, day one. We also got some news that, I jumped on a little bit earlier this afternoon. If you're watching it, it's July 7th, 2026. This is a Tuesday. Monster Energy is the entitlement sponsor for Big 12 football and Big 12 basketball, which means you're going to see Monster Energy logos everywhere you go associated with the Big 12. Kind of like NTT IndyCar or what used to be Winston Cup, Nextel Cup, Xfinity. It's not uncommon. What is interesting about that is that the Big 12 is the first Power 4 conference to engage in entitlement sponsorship. Again, it's regular. Paycom Jim Thorpe Award was once the Jim Thorpe Award. I think Brett Yormark, commissioner of the Big 12, has been very aggressive in trying to secure marketing rights for the conference all over the map. And he has not been shy about taking on private equity. Redbird Capital gave $12.5 million to the Big 12 in cash. This deal with Monster Energy worth $20 million annually and about $1 million per school, 16 of them. I also think that Monster Energy got this for a bargain basement price. $20 million? That's what, half the cost of Texas Tech's roster this year? Although it might be close to $35 million now that Brendan Sorsby's on his way out. And that $5 million, you might, that's right, you don't get to write that off. You did have to eat some of that. Yes, Texas Tech, I am picking on you. But I'm also going to be picking on Brett Yormark here. Because, right quick, Ron, producer Ron, do you know what this picture is?
Is that the reaction to USA Belgium?
It sure as hell was my reaction to USA Belgium. Holy smokes. And then in all of that, Flo Balagoon didn't do nothing, not a zip. You brought the Family Feud drama of Berhalter and Reyna on the field, and they didn't get nothing done. And oh, by the way, we can't defend for nothing. You know what? Mike Stoops was coaching the defense. I know it was happening. That's what was happening. Mike Stoops got a hold of the defense, and all of a sudden, it went to shambles. Tim Ream didn't know what he was doing. The only person out there doing any work was Malik Tillman, and Christian Pulisic's tired behind. Can't do much either. Oh, somebody hit my ankle. Damn, take me out. Against Belgium? Nah, Belgium said, hey, y'all go back to playing tackle. We don't need you over here in the footy. See, all it does is take a little bit for producer Ron to get me going. But this picture, reason I wanted to talk about this was homie make with the microphone, saying it with his whole chest as his fellow sports reporters have their hands in their palms. You're listening on the podcast. Ask Brett Yormark a question he didn't want to be asked no more. Someone asked Brett Yormark on the days at the Star in Frisco about Brendan Sorsby, which is one of the reasons that this channel has exploded over the last 2 months. And he said, look, now's not the time for that. I don't want to do that no more. And homie said, this is a press conference. I'm going to ask you whatever the hell I want to ask you. And he said, look, Texas Tech been fined for tortillas on the field, but the paddle people at Oklahoma State get an exemption. You said it's about the 12 of us, and we're going forward. Why should Texas Tech fans believe you? Brett Yormark noticeably agitated on stage, made that man stand up, ask his question again, walked over from the days to give him a piece of his mind and say, hey, first you misquoted me. I said it's 16, we move forward. And that's my answer to your question. I'm going. This is why I love media days, because of shenanigans like this right here, where everybody else looking around, he's going, you are wasting our time. You are wasting his time. He's already pissed about having to do this. The Pac-12 doesn't even have a friggin' media day. And now you go and do this noise right here. One of my favorite moments of the entire day was that one. And you don't get that many of them anymore because, frankly, it's as close as we get to having call-in shows. Because as a man who has been at Big 12 Media Days asking those kinds of questions, you can get kind of sweaty, because every now and again you got a boss that's like, yo, make sure you get on ESPN asking a question saying where you represent. And I'm like, hey, man, what am I going to ask that man that I want to ask him in public? Because some of this stuff you don't want to ask in public. You got your own story you're working on. You're not trying to give your story away for free, giving away your questions, but homie's out there with an agenda. He filed this in the log line. This is going to print tonight. I love that so much. It's one of my favorite things. Other bits of news to come out of Big 12 as we get toward our Big 12 Media Day takes. Deion Sanders addressed why he is one of 7 coaches to opt out of EA Sports College Football 27. Myself, I paid the money to get it early, to start playing early. I need to pick out who I'm going to build a dynasty around, but we'll see. Maybe North Dakota State, maybe not. But if I go ahead and pick Colorado, Deion Sanders ain't going to be on the sideline. But he is also joined by Mario Cristobal at Miami, Bill Belichick at North Carolina, Kirk Ferentz at Iowa, Bronco Mendenhall at Utah State, weird flex, but okay. Blake Anderson at Southern Miss, Blake Anderson, again, weird flex, but okay. And Neil Brown at North Texas, again, weird flex, but okay. So what did Prime have to say when he was asked, yo, why are you not in the game? Why are you not EA Sports in the game? And he said, hey, look, I got people to handle this for me, but best believe that if I'm not in it, it's because they wasn't paying enough. That's Prime right there. Where the money, honey? Where the money coming from? If there's no money to be had for me in this, or the price of the brick ain't what you willing to pay, see me. I'm straight. I'm good. I don't need to be in it. I thought that was rather fantastic. What else is fantastic is Deion Sanders is in the game. Check this out. If you are creating a Road to Glory character, I know this because I was playing around, you can go with a cornerback. I would love to meet the psycho out there that goes with a cornerback for Road to Glory. Matter of fact, no, I wouldn't. You not invited over for nothing. We not playing, no way. I don't even think you like this sport. Cornerback, Road to Glory? Get the hell up out of here. You can play as a foundational template, Deion Sanders, as your cornerback. He is the bump and run corner for the foundation of Road to Glory, playing that specific position. Other archetypes include Rod Woodson, a boundary corner, Antonio Cromartie, a field corner, Aqib Talib, and Richard Sherman, which is kind of wild. It's kind of wild to me. All right. So as I am going through those, I would like to ask this question in earnest. What's going to stop me from wanting to play a Road to Glory guard? All right. We come back after the break. I want to get into some takes about specific teams and just what I think is on tap for Baylor, Houston, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, even UCF after the bumper. Back on Adapt and Respond with me, RJ Young. If you are new to the channel, please join the more than 210,000 subscribers to Adapt and Respond to College Football Podcast. And if you so enjoyed this on a commute or drive to work and you don't pay for YouTube Premium like me, first, stop being poor. Second, you can go to Apple. You can go to Spotify. You can listen for free. All of this is free. This is one of the reasons why I don't really suffer any of your criticisms. Like I just don't. The show is free. If he's paying for it, we might be talking about it differently. We might be talking about it the way Deion Sanders was talking about perhaps getting paid or not paid by EA Sports College Football 27. I should add, Prime said, if I'm not in it, it's probably because they didn't pay enough. It's that simple. And then he went on to say, you know I'm lying, right? To which, no, bruh, we don't. We don't. We don't. We didn't see the financials. We didn't see the contract. We got to take you at your word. So if you're going to see out here people saying, and they will, they ain't paying enough, that's what you said. That's what you said. That's what you said. And then you want to talk, make a joke. Either make a joke or tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here talking about Danny McBride getting gambling. I want to know what the number is. And if you don't know that particular insight, that's a Sam Fragoso insight. Just kind of wedge that in there because Sam Fragoso was trying to find out just how much money Danny McBride owed in gambling debt. And I still don't know whether or not that was a bit because the way that McBride was evading it didn't make me think it was no bit. And the way that Fragoso was asking him how much do you owe didn't make me think it was no bit. So what I'm saying is I need you to tell us what's going on or just not entertain the subject at all. For me, tell you what's going on. Can the Big 12 get multiple teams into the college football playoff in 2026? Decent question. Joey McGuire, Brett Yormark, basically saying the same thing here. They think they should, but they won't, right? So check it. At the end of the season last year, the Big 12 had 5 teams in the college football playoff top 25 final rankings, right? Number 4, Texas Tech. Number 12, BYU. Number 15, Utah. Number 17, goodness, I'm going to mess that part up. I had it. Damn it, I had it. Number 17, who was that? I had it. Arizona. And then 21 was Houston. Cool, bet. That's 5 out of 25. But you only get 12 teams in the college football playoff. But only one of their teams got in. It was Texas Tech, who won the Big 12 championship, was one of the best teams in the country going into the playoff. BYU didn't even get considered. Not really, right? We're arguing about BYU. No. We're arguing about Notre Dame. Yeah. But who are you going to put in? Who are you going to take out? You're going to take out Oklahoma? Where are you going to take out Oregon, James Madison, Tulane? I think that's really the discussion, right? Is you're a Big 12 team and you think, hey, what the hell is Tulane and James Madison doing here? When we got BYU, Utah right here. Extending the college football playoff to 24 teams would mitigate this problem because that, by Joey McGuire's math, and he said this in media day, we get 5 teams into a 24-team playoff. And for what Texas Tech has done recently, we should also say Joey McGuire and Texas Tech have been really good, staunch defenders of their league and their members, believing that it is as good a league as any in the country. It's not, but it's great that they say that. Okay. I'm thinking that, and when we extend the 24 teams, it will benefit the Big 12, which is why they're all in it. 16 coaches go, hey, extend it to 24. Why? Because we need to get into this playoff. That's what the sport's about now. It's about getting into the college football playoff. Can it get more than one this year? No, it can't get more than one this year. For some of y'all, that's going to be a hot take. Let me tell you why. Has it gotten more than one in any other year? When it was 4 teams? When Texas and Oklahoma were in it? Okay, so put another way. Notre Dame got a memorandum of understanding with the college football playoff that says if it ranks inside the top 12 of the college football playoff selection committee's rankings, it's getting into the playoff. It has an automatic bid. I'm sorry, what? So we've made a carve out for a program that does not compete in a league, but you want to have me believe that what we think is probably the weakest of the Power 4 is going to get more than one team into a 12-team playoff. No. It'll be Texas Tech. It'll be BYU. It'll be Houston. It'll be Oklahoma State. It'll be one of these teams. But it ain't going to be more than one because there's going to be 3 teams from the SEC, 3 teams from the Big Ten, maybe 1, 2 from the ACC, especially given what Miami has done the last couple of years. I mean, it's really difficult for me to make that argument. Now, I'm open to being wrong. I just don't think that I'm going to be. So getting to the teams a bit here. I was taking into account some of the things that some of the coaches said. And I was struck by what Dave Aranda had to say about incoming transfer DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway, for those of y'all that are living underneath that particular rock, is an outstanding 5-star recruit coming out of Texas, Willis, Texas. Real great player. Ends up at Florida. Everybody wants him to start over Graham Mertz. Eventually, that's kind of what happens. And he looks like the real deal. Comes back around for his sophomore year, and he looks like absolute garbage. 2,200 yards passing, 16 TDs to 14 picks on a 3-9 Florida team that got its head coach fired before the month of October was finished. But Dave Aranda claims that he's seen a rejuvenated DJ Lagway. He even referenced, I kid you not, we set the world record in VR because DJ is on the VR trying to go through everything he can to prepare himself for the season. Dog, if playing video games made me better at playing college football, I would be a first-team All-American. Okay, cool, bet. Don't have DJ Lagway's gifts. And that matters. So Louis Riddick gets out here after hearing Dave Aranda talk about the VR and a rejuvenated DJ Lagway. And one underreported fact, this is the first offseason he's had healthy as a college football player. That matters. Riddick says, after you look at that guy, you'd say that's the number 1 pick in the draft. And Dustin Dvorak, God bless him, tried to help me, said, yeah, top 10 pick. And Riddick doubled down. Number 1 pick in the draft. Louis, homie, I love you, bro. I do. I really do. And I love that you love the NFL draft. But, homie, as much college football as you watch and you call games, do you ever wonder if any of these dudes are any friggin' good? Or do you just be looking at, damn, that's a lot of size. That's a big arm. I like all of that. Does winning matter? Because I'm not drafting no DJ Lagway. Not no first pick. Also, not for nothing, dog. Did you know that Jeremiah Smith plays at Ohio State? That Arch Manning plays at Texas? What are we doing here, Louis? What are we doing? You feeling the desk? Is that what's happening? You feeling the desk trying to make the Big 12 feel good about itself? I'm not even certain that DJ Lagway is going to be the starter at the end of the year at Baylor. But could he be the best newcomer of the year? He could, but he won't be. I think we all pretty much agree on that. Which is why I'm moving to Oklahoma State. Question I wrote down here, is Oklahoma State going to flip from the worst program in the Big 12 over the last 2 seasons to the best? I got to do the 138. I've done the 138. We're polishing it now. So I've ranked all 138 teams in FBS. Thank you, Sacramento State and North Dakota State, for making my job even more difficult. I mean that sincerely, by the way. I really do like this job, and I love doing this stuff. But I think people are going to be a little bit upset when they see where I ranked Oklahoma State. Eric Morris backed the U-Haul up, didn't text, said, everybody get in. We're going to Stillwater. We're going to play Power 4 football now. Brought with him Drew Mestamaker, who probably will be the newcomer of the year. Caleb Hawkins, who's from Oklahoma, but wasn't recruited by Oklahoma, went to UNT and set the world on fire. And Wyatt Young, no relation, who has been an outstanding wide receiver. So now you got Eric Morris, who comes up under Mike Leach, but runs the football, like Lincoln Riley, who has showed up to an Oklahoma State team that all of a sudden feels like it can win 10 games or more. Now, they got Oregon on the schedule early, so we're going to find out a bunch about them. But put it this way. Win a conference game. How about we start with that? Win a conference game. Oklahoma State ain't won a conference game in 2 friggin' years. 2 friggin' years. Colorado was a 3-9 football program last year. It was not the worst team in the Big 12. It's Oklahoma State. So now you reskin UNT with orange power and whatnot, but you got a dude that Eric Morris offered on tape, who was a walk-on, who threw for 4,379 yards, 34 TDs, 9 picks. That's quarterback. Hawkins, who, as Morris said, has never had an offseason until he got to college football. I love that as a note. It means you played sports, year-round. Put on 22 pounds. Should be one of the better tailbacks in this league. Can it be one of the best teams? Absolutely, it can be. Can it beat Texas Tech? Can it beat BYU? Let's cap it. Let's cap it at 3. Let's cap it at 3. If they get to 2-1, cool. We'll call them Arizona State. Willie Fritz over at Houston, I think, is a really underreported story because Willie Fritz has been good for a very, 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 very long time. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Gorillas, Division II, Pittsburgh, Kansas, hello, where he came out. And ever since then, he's been a football coach, and all he's done is win. So this year, he comes off of a 10-win season. Previous year was 4-8. He returns as starting quarterback. He returns as offensive coordinator who's got a football name, Slade Nagel. They get Mekhi Hughes back into the building. Mekhi Hughes was an outstanding running back, 1,300 yards, Tulane, a couple years ago, transferred to Oregon, didn't play much, redshirted, ends up coming back to play for Slade Nagel and Willie Fritz at Houston. So they're going to hand him the football. So you got a 5-star quarterback, Connor Wigman. You got your all-American conference tailback and Mekhi Hughes back. And, oh, by the way, you have the highest-rated recruit of all time behind Connor Wigman and Keyshawn Henderson, right? Keyshawn Henderson, who played for Kansas State's Michael Bishop, but was Willie Fritz's Michael Bishop at JUCO before he was Bill Snyder's. You see what I'm doing here? You see where I'm going? All right. So we got Willie Fritz, who's got 2 5-stars at quarterback, probably going to end up playing them both. You've got at least one dude in that building that knows how to win championships, right? In Willie Fritz. And you got a guy that is used to winning. Winning seems to follow him around. Willie Fritz is tied for the 3rd most victories by an active head coach in the NCAA across Division III all the way up. He's got 221 victories. Right? Flipped Tulane, flipped Houston, and looks now like a top 25 team if they can keep it together, and I think they can. That is another team to watch. So right now, I've given you the top 4, right? Texas Tech, BYU, Houston, Oklahoma State. With Oklahoma State maybe getting a 3. We'll see. I want to see how to do that Oregon game. Central Florida, the Scott Frost experiment, I'm not sure that it's still working. I'm not sure that it does work, but they're running with it, and Scott Frost still coming out here with low energy. I don't like it, Scott. I don't like it. I want the nasty. I want the mean. But you brought Alonzo Barnett in, and I got to feel some kind of way about that. I feel pretty good about that. Alonzo Barnett, who was an absolute monster at James Madison, led them to a Sun Belt championship and the college football playoff, but also gives them a quarterback, an undisputed quarterback, something they haven't had at UCF in quite some time. But you got a guy who's saying things like this in Scott Frost. Our standards and expectations are a lot higher this year than last year. I don't know what it will lead to, but we're certainly heading in the right direction. That don't sound like you're inspiring great confidence in what you think your Knights will do in the Big 12. However, again, Alonzo Barnett ain't come to Central Florida to lose, although he may, right? And I think that dude's box office. I really do. I think he can play. I think he's fun to watch. I think he will make that offense go. I just don't know that you're going to see the same sort of Central Florida with Scott Frost this time around that you had last time around. Tomorrow, we'll talk about Rich Rod and why I'm not sure that's going to work neither. But this whole retread, man, for as long as I live, why the hell do we need to keep rehiring head coaches? We got so many people that are, equipped to do the job. Honestly, why can't we spread the wealth just a little bit? Hey, he went 1-11. What the hell are you hiring him again for? No. I don't want, no, just go get Mo from off the street. He qualified. I'm qualified. You qualified. We could all be head coach, but we got to see Scott Frost back in Central Florida. Get over here, right? Last thing I want to talk about today, as it relates to Big 12 Media Days, is Texas Tech related. Ha! Surprise, surprise. Joey McGuire says Brendan Sorsby is welcome at Texas Tech on his campus anytime he wants, but he is training for the NFL draft in Dallas, Texas. Which also leads me to believe that he's not entertaining JUCO, which I kind of think is a mistake. I think if you play live football and you can chase a championship, you should probably do that. That's going to help you come the NFL draft 2027. I don't think anybody's going to give you any credit for going through private workouts and individual drills on your own. Go play with a football team that'll have you, assuming they'll have you, right? But the other thing that was interesting about today, Joey McGuire, once again, took an opportunity to tell Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns, anytime, any place, anywhere. So those of you that forgot this, before the whole Brendan Sorsby thing went up in shambles, just went up in flames, fell to shambles, went up in flames. Joey McGuire had heard Steve Sarkisian talking noise about his football team on a junket. Steve Sarkisian said, hey, look, our backups could beat their ones. So Texas Tech heard it, and Texas Tech said, put your money where your mouth is, player. We will play you week 1. We will buy out your games. We will buy out our games. Light them up. Spot the friggin' ball. And I love that. I love that because don't nobody like it when you talking out one side of your mouth. Square up. Bring your ass outside. I'm on your front lawn. Let's go. And Texas don't want no part of it. Texas, different league, whatnot. So today, knowing he ain't got Brendan Sorsby, which we all believe would put Texas Tech over the top as the runaway favorite to repeat as the Big 12 champ. He says, no, I said what I said. I'm standing on business. The quote is, we're ready to go right now. We'll play Texas tomorrow. We don't need any film study. They got a great football team and one of the best teams in the country. We don't need any film study. He said, spot the ball. Spot the ball. I want his ass. Like that's what you're saying. You're saying, put your hands up, son. Let's go. I love that. I also love that Texas is scared. You know how I know Texas is scared? Because you can remove any one of these boo-boo games off your schedule. As I said in the open, get rid of these boo-boo games. Ron, I'm going to need you to tell me if I'm crazy here in a second. All right, so people claim that the regular season's importance is going to go down if you extend the playoff to 24 teams. You remove the conference championship game. You're playing too many games. To which I say, if you're worried about watering down the schedule, why don't we remove these money in the bag games where an FCS team or even a group of 6 team like, say, Northern Illinois, directional Illinois, can show up to Notre Dame, Indiana with ski mask on, put the bag out, say, put the money in the bag, nobody gets hurt. Take the W and your cash. Why don't we just get rid of those games, not play 12 games, play 11, play 10, and then play our playoff? Ron, what am I not getting about this? Why are people upset?
Don't know. It seems that people really love to see the Globetrotters beat up on the Generals. And then every single time that I've ever seen a big team play Northwestern, Directional State University, JUCO, they go crazy. They buy the pay-per-views for them, so don't know.
He got a point because Northwestern State be moving numbers. I'll never forget. I will never forget having to pay pay-per-view to watch Oklahoma beat up on South Dakota. Either that or be in the damn stadium. Just so you could see the backups play. Because that's what you're selling. You're selling, hey, do you want to see what the next generation of football player is going to look like? Let me show you this backup that you ain't never seen that I know you think is going to lead you to a national championship. Everybody did that with Spencer Rattler. You know what happened to Spencer Rattler? Oklahoma wins a game against West Virginia 16-14, and the entire stadium is chanting, we want Caleb, as in Williams, because Spencer Rattler was stinking up the joint. I'm saying, yeah, y'all really do like to watch the Harlem Globetrotters beat up on the Washington Generals. I also know y'all hate change, tradition, what it was like when I was a child. Well, you know what else it was like when you was a child? We weren't streaming on television. We certainly weren't going to host a really cool World Cup. And more than anything else, your team probably wasn't that good anyway. Maybe we should think about it that way. Maybe you should start thinking about it the way I think about it as an Oklahoma fan now. It's nice to make the playoff. I'll let you know if it's ever nice to win a game. But if I'm the guy saying it's cool to make the playoffs and my team ain't won a game, where do you get off telling me that none of this stuff matters? Because it sure as hell matters to me. All right. That is going to do it for today's episode of Adapt and Respond. If you like the channel, subscribe. Share this episode with a friend. Rate us on the Apple, what we used to call the iTunes, on the Spotify, which I think they still call the Spotify. And let me know in the comments below who the hell is going to win the Big 12 2026. We will see y'all on the flip side. Doses.